Good morning, kids. Chris here. Happy Monday to each of you. It is August the 3rd. August 3rd, 2020. Let's talk about teams. Teams are scary. Sometimes people really worry about the teams and how that actually functions for them. If you've hired people in the past, you may have a lot of fear around hiring people again. People, unfortunately, people like me are messy, right? Sometimes we're the best, sometimes we're the worst. We're just people. It's like personal relationships. Sometimes we really crush the thing in personal relationships, sometimes it just all falls apart. Same way with work relationships. They're just people at a table. And you may have had a good experience. You may have never hired somebody. You may be just getting started hiring somebody. You may have hired 100 people in the past, and now you're a solopreneur, and you're so glad you are, and you just simply don't want to work with anybody else because people are tough to work with, right? Well, let's talk through this because you really want to make sure you understand the pros and cons of having a team. There's a lot of cons; they way outweigh a lot of pros. Sorry, way outweigh the cons, and we want to make sure that we're really hammering this out because it's important. So, as always, jump in here. I will answer questions as we go. And I will drop comments down here so you can keep up with my notes and make sure that I'm answering your questions appropriately. The reason we picked this topic is because this comes up quite a bit. We've kind of gone through a few, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We talked about profitability, same format. Then we talked about processes, same format. And now let's talk about people or teams with a similar format. So, what's up, Jeannie? Great to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. So great to see you. So let me do this. Let me just jump in here first up and just drop. Scott, awesome to see you, man. Let me just drop a few notes in here. First of all, why do we need a team, right? That's so important to figure this out because the why thing really does matter. And teams are important, so let's understand why first, and then we will understand the hows, all right? So we're going to go through 3 points as we usually do that will help you see the why, and then we'll jump into the how. I'm typing while I'm talking, as you all know if you watch a lot. I'm the worst at this. What's up, Jeannie? Great to see you. All right, so first up, why? You need to grow a team because you can only grow as big as you. Most of us, what's up, Kelton? Great to see you. Most of us are really, really amazing people. CN, awesome. Great to see you. Happy Monday. Most of us are amazing people. We're high end go getters. We execute a lot. A lot of us who own our own agencies, particularly in this digital marketing agency standpoint, are pretty, hey CN, we're pretty good at doing a lot of things and we're pretty ADHD, meaning we can have a lot of thoughts in our head at once and not freak out too bad. And we can get a lot done and we can see a lot of moving pieces at once. So we're more productive than a lot of the people we know, right? I'm not saying that in any kind of arrogant way. We just get a lot done. The thing is, though, that we can still only grow as big as we are. So it's so important as we build teams. One of the biggest reasons is to make sure that we build teams because we have to grow. If we don't grow and we don't expand our own skill set, expand the number of hours we have, if we don't expand the stuff that's going on in our life, in our head, in our hearts, we need more emotional energy, more mental energy, more space, more margin, and each human only has so much of that. So, it's so important to make sure we build teams so that we can grow beyond our own scope and our own size. Not just skill set. Sometimes we think, oh, it's a skill set thing. We got to grow because we need two more skill sets on the team. Absolutely, that's really important. But it's so important, even if it's the same skill set over and over again, that we just get somebody in there so we can get bigger than us. All right? Next point up here. Number two, avoid burnout on undesirable tasks. There's so many things that I do day in, day out that I used to do that I just didn't like doing. And those things often bog me down. Even though I like to work, and I don't work hardly as much as I used to for sure, but even though I still love being active, right? I'm not the kind of person who can sit still. I don't play golf. And when I go to the beach, I don't sit on the beach. I build sandcastles and I swim and I surf. I have to be busy. But even though I like doing stuff, there's a lot of tasks in my agency when I was just starting out in the early stages that were just crushing me because they weren't made for me. They were made for someone else. Someone else was better at that, passionate about it, more skilled at that. For me, like things like really basic administrative tasks that are file forming, structure forming, organization, keeping up with calendars, emails, all that kind of thing. That stuff really drives me crazy. And I really struggle with that. I still do. And the things that really make me thrive and live are communicating with people. I love explaining. I love doing this. I love teaching. I love working with our clients. I love those monthly check-in meetings. I love the strategy. I like building that kind of stuff. So it's important to have somebody else on my team who can handle a lot of things that made me burn out and really crushed me early on. third thing up here. All right, let's drop in another one here so you can see where I'm going here. Third thing of why we want to have teams and people in our groups in our world from a business standpoint is just offering better products and services. There is just no way, we mentioned this a second ago, there is no way we can all be experts at everything we need to be experts in. We just can't get it all done. It's really important to make sure that we have experts in key areas of our business that are really focused on helping us get the right stuff done and helping us get the things done that our clients need that we're not experts in. Okay, that may be site building, it may be ad management for you, it could be basic things like just porting information over from one platform to another platform that you're building on their behalf. It could be graphic design, videos, whatever. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. And you want to make sure that you are doing the stuff that you're expert at and let somebody else, even if you're outsourcing it to somebody on like Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, let somebody else do their thing and you can upsell for it, charge whatever you want to, that kind of thing. Scott, I'm seeing a message from you. Jump in here. Scott says, my big, and as everybody, as always, if you're jumping in here new, feel free to ask questions as we go along. I love this. Let's make sure we get you where you want to go, and I can answer any questions we got. Scott says, my big realization the past couple of weeks is that I need not only individual producers, but a project manager. Yeah, I need to delegate projects, not tasks. Boom. Scott, that is brilliant insight right there. That's a huge shift. A lot of people, when they're starting out, me too. Carol, great to see you. A lot of people when they're starting out think, oh, I need to get these little tasks off my plate. But really, once you can handle that, that thinker, that kind of project-sized schemer, I'm going to call him a schemer for a second, that can really help you see the ins and outs, how to be more efficient, how to like just get around that whole problem a little better, and they can manage a bunch of other people, or they can manage a bunch of outsourced people even. Wow, so helpful. We have some amazing project managers on my team, and they get so much done because, for instance, in our agency, I bet we outsource most of what we do, probably 85 to 95% of what we do, we outsource. So we have a lot of really amazing project managers on our team, and they oversee dozens of other people that we don't have to manage, so to speak, because they're not on our team. It just allows so much to go on. All right, Kelton, what if we, let's see, what if you don't have the money to pay for someone else? Land more clients? Ooh, good question, Kelton. Really good question. Let's jump in, and Kelton, I'm going to answer your question with this right here. Let me just pop up my next question. Let's talk about how, okay? So how, and then let me drop in here point one under how. So Kelton, super question. Start with a part-time or general VA unless, all right, I'm going to get to the unless in a second. Bottom line, Kelton, is yes, you have to close the next deal. You want to close one more client that helps you reach one step farther and not use that cash for your personal expenses and invest that cash in even a part-time VA. I don't know where you are in the world, Kelton, it doesn't matter, but there's different regions around the world that cost different amounts for different types and styles of help from a virtual standpoint in your digital agency. And if you can find someone who's in a lower cost place in the world where you can bring them a lot of value on the money you can pay them, but they can bring you a lot of value in the work they can provide for you, and you can fit that in your budget, even if it's just for an hour or two a day, absolutely do that. The reason I say start with a part-time or general VA unless you're able to find someone who's good at sales, good at high-end project management, good at really pushing your business forward in a strategic way, and you can afford that, then absolutely make that jump. But if you're just starting out and you're looking for, hey, how do I just get some of this workload off my plate, then absolutely you want to start with a basic VA first who can help you with administrative tasks. And then people always end up asking, and I'm going to drop it in here, which task do we delegate first, right? So delegate the tasks that require, and this is number 2 here on the how, delegate the tasks that require the lowest skill set but take the most amount of your time. Hey, what's up, Marilyn? Great to see you. Make sure you're delegating the tasks that require the lowest skill set, but take the most amount of your time. Let me tell you how to figure this out. So a simple time study will help you enormously in this. So you want to make sure you're really analyzing how you spend your time, and then you want to measure that time. So like, do I spend 5 hours a week or 5 minutes a week doing different tasks or projects, right? And then you want to analyze that based on the skill set required to do that task. Okay, so let's say that you spend an hour a day, 2 hours a day doing emails and calendaring. All right, for me, that's how it works. If I get into my email and my calendaring setup, I'm slow at it. I hate typing emails. I hate composing written things. That's why I do a lot of video. And I templatize all my written stuff so someone else can do it for me. The that wastes so much of my time though that I found that a general VA could take a lot of that off my plate. Now, answering emails and calendaring is relatively low skill set stuff, even though you say, well, my clients ask questions and only I know the answers to. Yeah, but honestly, that's usually like 10, maybe 5% of your emails that come through. So something that simple is a great place to start, all right? People, you can hire a lot of folks from a lot of places in the world that can manage your calendar, and you can automate a lot of that, and you can do a lot of templates for your email and let somebody else just handle that where it's not taking up brain space. So bottom line is delegate the tasks that require the lowest amount of skill set but take the most challenge of your time. When you figure that out on that time study and you can analyze, here's how much time it took me to do all these tasks. And of all the ones that I spent time on the past week or two, here's where I spent most of my time. And of those big ones, here's the ones that are easiest to train or hand off. That's what you want to start delegating first. And then you want to start swapping. What's up, Lori? Great to see you. Then you want to start swapping those tasks with really important work. So as you're delegating out, all right, this is really critical. You do want to find out the right place to use your newfound time. And that newfound time should be replacing stuff that delegated time out with prospecting and closing. All right, here's the reason we say that first. You got to make this jump quickly from I just found somebody to help take some things off my plate, and then I'm going to replace it with some new sales or prospecting, because there's this little like bridge, maybe a gap. It's like you're jumping over a ditch out in the woods on a hike. And there's that risk of while you're in the air, right? You want to make sure you jump over, and you got to bring some fuel. You got to get some wind on your back while you're making that jump. So you hire someone, get a little more time, and then all of a sudden you've got that extra hour a day, extra 2 hours a day. If you need to take a little bit of time off, get off work an hour or 30 minutes a day early just to give yourself some brain space, do that. But split that time a little bit up where part of that time gets retained in the business, and you prospect and close the next deal with that, all right? Then quickly flip that around into hiring someone else to help you start executing the workload. So you got to get that wind in your sails for just a second as you're first making that leap. And then you got to bring in that next person to really help you grow and execute that workload. And then you start repeating that process several times over, and all of a sudden you're funded way better than you ever were before, and you've got the staffing to come in there and help you get stuff done. It could be outsourced folks, it could be people that are full-time with you, part-time with you, shared staffing with other agencies, whatever, just finding people to help. That's really, really important to make that jump. Scott says, I've also been happy finding small VA agency. I've also been, happy finding small VA agencies. They don't really cost much more than working with a VA directly, and they can provide you with different VAs depending on the task. And it's so much worth the time saved finding complete or competent, reliable people. Hang on, Scott, clicking more. This is a great comment. Thank you very much for putting it in here. Cool. So yes, Scott, just seeing that. Other than Virtual Staff Finder, care to share? Great. So Lori's asking, Virtual Staff Finder is a great one. We've used that one in the past as well, Lori, as you know. And Scott, if you have another VA agency, drop them in here, please. People, let me just talk about this VA agency versus finding one dedicated to you. A VA agency allows you to hire someone part of the time that they're working professionally. So there's groups like this all over the world, here in the States where I live, in the UK and Canada, in the Philippines, all throughout the South Asian communities. There's so many cool VA companies out there that help all over the UK. There's some amazing ones in Eastern Europe that are fantastic. We've worked in the past. Anyway, bottom line is, I personally prefer to hire someone, even if it's just for part-time, who can work exclusively with me. It gives me at least in my experience, it gives me a lot more connection to the person, and they're more connected to our tasks and projects versus them having their brain power split in multiple directions, depending on, unfortunately, often which client is the squeaky wheel, the one who yells loudest, is the grumpiest, and pushes harder. And I'm not that personality. I'm the guy who's just hammering people down, so often my task might get left alone a little more often than somebody who was hammering their door down a little harder. All right, that's just my experience working with dozens of staffing agencies. Some people, Scott, for example here, Scott, you seem to love the team approach where you hand a set of tasks off to a virtual staffing company. They make sure they're always done. They have a bunch of skill sets. You could find a videographer and a graphic designer and a general admin and a project manager all in the same house. And if one of them quits or bails on you, they take care of replacing with a new staff member. There's a lot of beauty in that. There really is. So different strokes for different folks on this one is a great way to say that. And Laura, you say, I have been, let's see, I have an order in for one dedicated through Virtual Staff Finder, but have a temporary need for another. Cool. Yeah, Lori. So Virtual Staff Finder, just for those of you who are new at this, Virtual Staff Finder, you pay $500-600, something like that. Lori, I haven't checked the prices in a while. Feel free to pitch in if you want to. You fill in an application, you tell them what you're looking for, you get real clear about it, and they help you find people based in the Philippines. We've had some amazing folks come from Virtual Staff Finder that we've worked with, and they're dedicated to working with you. You can hire them full or part-time, and Virtual Staff Finder does the background checks, the language checks, the experience, all the referrals and references. They do all of that for you, and you just get to interview 3 people. If you can't find one of the 3 that fits you perfectly, they'll send you another 3, and they'll keep setting it up on Zoom calls or whatever so you can meet those people. Anyway, that's Virtual Staff Finder. You pay a one-time fee to get that started, and they help you find the right people. So, Scott, if you're still tuned in here, I think you are, I would love to know what VA agencies you're leaning in on. I think Lori would really appreciate that. I would love to see who that is. $600 is what Lori says for the $100 off coupon. Wait for the $100 off coupon to save. Cool. Or are you going to share a $100 off coupon? Scott says, I'm currently using Assistantly Guy. Cool. Assistantlyguy.com. And the Ripple, looks like RippleVAs.com. That's very cool. Thank you. I've also used Boldly for US-based staff members quite a bit. They used to be Worldwide 101. We've used, but they've changed their name to Boldly. They're based in the UK. They staff UK, US, and Canada. And I've also used Hire My Mom for some of those short-term gigs, meaning short-term, a couple of months long. HireMyMom.com is another really great one, a really clever name. The virtual assistant, I'm going to search for this real quick to make sure I'm not lying. I'll drop a link in here as well. This dude's fantastic. Let's see. Let me just make sure I got the domain right. This guy's built, there's a guy who's built an entire business. There we go. Yeah, a virtual assistant. I'll drop his .com in here for you. By the way, I have no affiliations with any of these folks. I don't get paid for any of this. I'm just shooting you straight. This is how it works. It has been fantastic. This virtual assistant guy has reviewed just like literally almost every imaginable VA group out there. And if you're looking for an amazing place to find just great research on this, this guy has put together some amazing interviews. You get to see him interviewing the owners of the organizations, hear their philosophies, see how they work, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really helpful. I think I just dropped that link in there. Let me know if it shows up. No, I tried to cancel. Here we go. Yeah, we're good. Okay. CN says it would be nice if everyone would shop local and help folks in their community. Yes, CN, we've done quite a bit of that too, and I know tons of people in this community do the same thing. That's a great push right there. Thanks. There are a lot of people right now. There's that virtual assistant link finally coming up for mine. There are a lot of people right now in every country, but like literally also in your hometown, wherever you are right now, that need work. And there are, I don't hire friends and family, period, because it gets kind of sticky. But there are lots of people out of Memphis, Tennessee. We've outsourced jobs not recently to folks here in our community because there's some fantastic talent who are skilled in the type of work that we do, that are also looking for ways to just beef up their income right now because they've been laid off or whatever. And anytime you can shop local like that, it's not just about food, right? It's also about real people. There we go, Lori. I have both. Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, Lori's fantastic at hiring some amazing folks in her local area. She lives in a very cool tech spot, and she's got some great talent. Okay. Any other questions for me about this people staffing stuff right here? We've got some great resources lined up here. Thanks everybody for firing away those questions and firing away the resources. I'll hang out for just a minute or two longer. If there's any questions, I want to make sure I answer them, because it's funny. You ask a question and 10 other people have the same question. Don't be shy. Feel free to ask questions as you need to. Excellent, excellent resources on all this. Scrolling back through here. Scott, thanks for sharing those links. Scott, I can't afford local help with the expertise I can hire offshore, and that allows me to help local people more affordably. Hiring offshore doesn't mean you aren't helping the local community, and I am looking for a local paid intern. Yeah, I totally get that, Scott. You know, that's a true reality. Let's just talk dollars and cents here for a second. Sometimes we're in spaces in our agency where the offshore folks can help faster and on our budget, right? And we to make that leap to be able to help someone local at a higher dollar amount might take us another month or two of building with a different offshore group, so we can make that leap, and that is totally doable. A lot of digital agencies start that. They start with that offshore group. They can help them get tasks and projects done very, very inexpensively. And then as they grow, they start hiring more locals that are based in their current culture, because you need that cultural connection often to work with your clients the right way. So that's a great plan. And a lot of people do that, and it's a great way to bridge the gap to get you up and running even faster. And then you can have the resources to really help more folks in your local area. That was the way I started as well. I couldn't afford a US-based VA when I first started. And as much as I wanted to, I couldn't. But the folks offshore really helped me make that jump. We've still retained them. We have some amazing folks who work with a long time from other countries. And we were able to upscale and buy up some people that we could finally afford here in the US. And that's just supercharged our agency over the past 4 or 5 years. Okay, Lori, I keep people US based, and my customers are far happier. Yeah, totally get it. Lori, it's really important. And back to that culture thing. There's only so much you can do from a culture standpoint with folks who aren't living in your culture wherever you are in the world. I know we have folks from all over the globe in this group. And so wherever you are in the world, if you're working with clients in your local area, they want to talk to people who've often grown up in their local culture. It's just the way it fits and feels and seems right. It's more connecting, particularly when we're telling stories, marketing, when we're delivering content and messaging to people. It's really important to have that connection. But different folks in the world can help you at different price ranges, and you got to figure that out. Labor costs also impact our service costs. So higher labor means higher prices to our customers. We have to balance that or stop serving smaller companies. This is why my crew is a hybrid. Love that model. You know, everybody's local to somebody, and everybody needs a job, and it's great to be able to spread the love around. So well done, Lori. Okay, folks, that is it for me today. Anybody got any more questions? I'm not in a rush. I got time. I'm just making sure we have everybody up here. You'll have fantastic comments and questions here as always. All right, it's Monday. Go out there and crush it. It's so Monday. I freaking love Mondays. I love my time off. That's what we do a lot of. But when it comes to Mondays, man, I'm so itching to go. All these ideas pop in your head over the weekend. So be sure that you stop work in the evenings and stop work on the weekends. Chill out, take a break, do what you got to do to just relax. Because when you do come back in, like for me on Mondays, I'm so fired up. I'm so ready to go. And it's because I've had time to relax and rest on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just chill for a while. So Mondays are just super fun. Glad to be back. Glad to be here. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central. We'll dive into, I've got a list of Q&As tomorrow. Everybody's sending in just great questions, super insightful questions. I've got a list of those I'm going to bang through tomorrow on multiple topics. So tune in if you have any questions for me about anything in your agency, growing it, scaling it, being efficient, really getting that time down, that profitability up. Feel free to ask your questions. That is why we're here. All ships rise to the tide, right? And this is a unique time in our world, in our lives. There's so much opportunity as a digital agency owner, so much opportunity. You guys got this. You can crush this. Ask your questions. Let's get you moving. And I will see you all tomorrow on Tuesday morning, my time, whatever time of the day and night that is for you. See you then. Can't wait. Bye, guys.